Unfortunate, unfortunate, unfortunate. I was just completely talking to myself for about 15 minutes. Do you want to change to this chair? This chair? I just started the stream up, and I was talking to myself for 15 minutes because I hadn't started the stream up. So I've had a dry run. I oh good. Commentators are not quite awake. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've got Jacob versus Chris. We've got Skaven tied versus Ogre Mawtribes Underguts. Are we reading you?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's also a Kragnos list,
It's a
right? So it's
Kragnos
not.
for
It's
Iron
not.
Blasters.
Yeah, it's not a big man runs 3d6 after he charges. This is just a big man who charges 3d6.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be. I mean it's really simple because it's like Kragnos, 3 units of Frost Sabers which are filling out the battle line requirement. 20 Nobblers as a screen for 4 Iron Blasters.
Don't forget, his Icebrow Hunter can hide in terrain.
Wow. Holy. I actually don't even know what that guy does. I did.
He has a moderately okay shooting attack. He gets to move. He gets like a weird, terrible version of what the foxes do.
Uh-huh. During deployment, he can be placed to a side and
Yep.
set up as a reserve unit.
And
Oh,
he
and
can
he
take
can.
frost sabers with him.
Interesting. Maybe he brings one with him to do barge and desecrate.
It's a good one for barge actually with those guys. And the frost sabers, I believe, also have the same rule that they can't be seen in if they're in terrain.
Ah, oh, can't be seen. That's decent. I mean, there's no terrain on the objectives, and that's probably where they're gonna need to be, though. Uh, yep, yeah. While it's in cover, they're not visible.
He does have a butcher.
Yep.
Blubbergut Stench is the aura that turns all those iron blasters into monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really just like step on objectives with frost sabers, throw Kragnos into
Well,
the backfield objective,
it's kill everything.
and shoot anything else. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I'm interested to see it. What do we got? One bat reg, so it's a 4 drop. Okay. Um,
So what's Jacob's list? He's got Verminlord Deceiver.
Yep.
Verminlord Warbringer. So two big
yeah,
monster guys, which
we'll see if they get shot off.
yeah,
Turn 1, turn 2.
I don't think he can keep any in any sort of reserve.
No,
Unless there's something I'm familiar with.
no. It's like it's gonna be a like exercise of can Chris screen effectively with those Nobblars
Yeah,
and the Frost Sabers.
I look at it and it's just Jacob is going to try to scoop everything slowly, steadily, and if you get if the Jazales can get the Iron Blasters by chance, I mean,
Yeah,
they shoot far enough. I think they're run two damage each, 2 shots each, something like that.
yeah. I have a feeling this match is gonna be over one way or the other within 2, 3
Mm-hmm.
turns. It's really it's one player is going to be tabling the other most likely. Yeah, so the Jazales are 30-inch range, 1 shot though, threes and threes run 2 damage. No,
So Iron Blasters can actually outdistance them, which is interesting.
yeah, well they certainly can, and oh it's times 3, so yeah you're gonna have 3. Technically you're having 3 shots in that unit, 3 shots, threes and threes run 2 damage. So even if all 3 hit and wound and go through, you're still not killing 1 Iron Blaster.
That's true.
There's 2 of those
Yeah,
units
and with the
though.
fact that Iron Blasters don't degrade.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of gutter runners too, so like gutter runners could drop down, and I believe they have like a mortal wound shooting attack, like
Mhm.
D3 mortals on sixes or
Sixes
something.
to something, yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely some play there. I think gutter runners are like 12-inch range. Yep, and then with their throwing stars. Oh, it's just 1 mortal wound. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like, do you try to take out the Nobblar's screen and then try to get a Vermin Lord with a fight on death? Because like if he charges and dies to the shooting on Overwatch, at least
Yep.
he can then spin around, kill a cannon or two. It's like not a great
Yeah, I
trade
mean,
is the issue.
placement on the cannons is going to be very important because of the Overwatch. But 20-man Nobbler screen is great, but really it's one screen.
Yep.
Jacob has a lot more disposable stuff, I guess I'd call it.
Yep.
Um, we'll see.
Yeah.
Jacob's also a very good player.
Oh yeah. I mean they both are.
They wouldn't be here if they wouldn't. They're
No.
not.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing the deployment. This is Nidus Paths, right?
Hmm?
This is Nidus Paths.
I think so.
Round 4. Yeah. I don't think that I haven't seen people really utilize Nidus Paths in a good long while. It's like your army doesn't if it doesn't need it, it doesn't need it.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, someone just sits something in the corner because they're like, I don't
Yeah.
want to have to deal with this, so I'm just
Yeah.
going to sacrifice this small thing. And Chris is great. He's got some small sabers for
Yep.
it. For Jacob, he could easily sit one of those units of Giselle's there and
Yeah.
just say, here you go. You can't teleport.
Sometimes people put faction terrain if they have it
Yep.
right in the corner because it's impassable. You could put a gnaw hole right in that corner, and there's ways that you can do it where they physically can't go through that corner, and then
Right.
you just don't have to worry about it. And you
Yep.
could, it's interesting because then he could actually use it too. But it's probably not. It's just not worth worrying about. I don't think.
No, it's one of those things where there are some missions in this GSB that I think are really well done, and there's others where it's like, we're going to do this and add a fun thing. And the fun thing
Yeah.
is like, no one cares.
Yeah, I mean it's because like especially because it's at the end of the movement phase, not the beginning of the movement phase. Like if you end your movement phase in the Nidus Paths, or sorry, if you start your movement in the Nidus Paths,
Yep.
you and pop out the other corner and then move, that would actually threaten those backfield objectives. But the fact is you can't even physically get onto that objective in the corner,
Right,
so it's like
from the path.
it's just a complete non-factor, which is a little bit unfortunate because like it would add some interesting play, but it unfortunately doesn't. People just put a screening unit back there if they're really concerned about it.
Or you just abandon it at the point that you know that there's at least a full turn of them needing to teleport through
Yeah,
and then move
Yeah.
to threaten your objective at all.
yeah. And a lot of armies these days are just fast enough that like at a certain point it's just better just to walk onto the center of the board and actually be exerting some kind of influence, and then walk onto that back corner objective if you really need to, as opposed to just like using this kind of gimmicky rule.
Yep.
I mean, I've used it maybe once or twice. I think for like barge with like a slow like
Do that.
unit.
I think both of these armies have another way to do something better. Right, like they each have their own mechanics. You got null halls that that Jacob can be plopping around on. You have the Sabertusk and the Ice Hunter who can come on and like drop down anywhere at some point during the game.
Yep.
So I assume he's going to take at least one unit, maybe two, with him into the. I don't even
Yeah.
know where he goes. He just shows up. So it's
Yeah.
not into the warp or anything like that. It's just
It's just their ambush. They're like hunting, so
Yeah.
they're like hiding. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that he would take at least one
Although,
frost saber.
did he have fear on the hunter trophy? Uh,
Command trade score.
the butcher. So there's gonna be a butcher hanging around. So actually, one of the things that's interesting with the Ogre army, and at least I've never actually played against it at this point yet, but at
Yep.
least everyone's thought about it.
I mean, this is also not like the,
Giselles could be very good at scooping that butcher.
Yep. So that's the one giving extra rend.
Nope. So the rend is because he's under guts.
Okay.
The trophy rack gives +1 to hit for any unit fully within 12
Okay.
for ogres that is shooting a monster or a hero.
Oh, and that's huge because the iron blasters are on 4s and 3s. Yeah.
So, or
What are they in plus? Is it?
I'm fairly certain
I'm
it
gonna
at least
I'm,
was.
I'm gonna check your math.
Go ahead.
I believe you though. You probably know more about ogres than I do. Ogres. Yep, fours and twos. You're
Look
right.
at
You are right.
that. Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
No. Yeah, I was just reading this profile too, and I completely missed that. I
Nope.
thought it was fours and threes.
No, no.
That's
Which
even better.
it is,
That's
yes.
crazy.
So now it's threes and twos if you're
Oh,
targeting a monster.
great.
And how much damage do we do, Cotton?
D3 plus 3. It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it works out. Yeah, I mean,
I'm also interested to see this game because I have all of this army and have not put it on the table yet because I have a Kragnos and I have
You
the
should leave it off the table, I think.
I'll bring 1 or 2 guns.
yeah, that's like much more manageable. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, everybody's been talking about it. It's the boogeyman right now. I think it's a combination of the range and probably the points of value.
Yeah, and the was it hungry or eating part like for
Plus 3 inch
for
move.
+2, yeah.
Plus 2.
They're so fast. So
Yeah.
a 9-inch range, 9th move, and then your shot at 30 inches.
Yeah.
That also gives you with your like the better shot is even though we love our las cannons
Yeah.
that are D3 plus 3 damage.
Yeah.
The
quantity
the
of
better shot
shots.
is the 10 shots that are threes, Ren 2
Yep.
and underguts 2 damage each.
Yep.
So that's 10 shots that are maximum 20 damage versus 2 shots that are a maximum of 12.
And these things like aren't terrible in melee either.
No, I
That's
mean
like,
it's
nothing's
it's
bad
it's
about
an
it.
ogre.
It doesn't degrade.
It's an ogre and a monster and a little beastie guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. Well, I think they might be done deploying.
Nope. So it looks like we have 2 frost sabers and the hunter in sneaking, hiding around the board someplace. They're off the table now. We've got the 2 vermin lords up upper right.
Yeah, sorry, I was just making sure this is still running. Yeah, I think Chris is. I believe he just gave Jacob first turn. Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna go walk over to the table and see what he picks.
Okay. When I walked up this morning, Miles gave me the official name tag for was forgotten the previous day. Yeah, that's why I was looking at yours. So each of the name tags, they got them done, and they have. So mine is my name, and then it's Absolute Legend Tournament Organizer.
I honestly
and then,
think I completely missed because he's like, I think
Yeah.
you forgot to take your thing, and he gave it to me, and I didn't even read it.
Yep.
And now I feel
and
bad for
Cam
missing the
has
joke.
legit the greatest. All true.
I want to get a shot of the table, and the handy cam is still being silly. So let me see if I can try to figure that out.
Calculating it all, whether or not he gets where he needs to be for.
All right, here we go. You wanna
We got the can going on.
position me over?
Yep. And let's switch to some table view. Yeah. Wi-Fi. And it looks a little choppy as we do this. We're upload rates are still good, but I think it might be the Wi-Fi for the cam coming back is a little slow this morning, as are we all. Those gutter runners being held off the table. Jacob getting Death Frenzy off. I believe he cast Flaming Weapon as well. Go back up to the table. Oh, and here's the teleport. So
Did we
let's see
figure
what
out?
happens.
Did we figure out what his? Do you want me to go ask what his battle tactic was?
We didn't catch it yet. Yeah.
All right.
Hmm? We've both been doing this all weekend.
So Jacob's gonna be desecrating the red
Okay.
lighthouse.
He's going to desecrate the red lighthouse. Well, thanks, Dayton. Yeah, I guess the audio's choppy too. That's interesting. It's got to be the Wi-Fi here. Nice to meet you. Checking out's not a thing anymore. You just leave. No, you don't.
What? Throw you in the trash.
Yeah, they'll send you an email with your bill. Don't worry about it. Leave like $2 to $5 on the counter.
Our audio's been choppy as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. The hotel bar. Scrub harder. Here's a tip. Yeah.
I mean, Death Frenzy. If you can get those Death Frenzied.
I believe he did get Death Frenzy off. I also believe he got Flaming Weapon off.
Yep.
And then he teleported.
Oh boy. I mean, if you can get that in.
Well, he's all the way on the north side, so you can see where the Iron Blasters are directly above
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Is where he teleported the.
So he's gonna go into the Gnoblars.
I think that's the Deceiver. I'm not sure which is which.
Yeah, I bet you. So, because I think he teleported that one outside 6 inches.
Yeah.
I bet you he's gonna drop Gutter Runners and is gonna try to shoot at the Nobbler screen.
And then
with
be able
Giselles
to
and
charge
stuff.
through to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because he's gonna be because he'll be. I mean, he's probably like 9 inches away from the Iron Blaster through that Nobbler. I think those Nobblers are probably pushed out about 3 inches. So it's not like the easiest charge in the world.
Yeah.
It's doable.
It's also probably close for an Overwatch. Or a stand. What's it called? Unleash.
Yeah, and I think the idea probably is if it dies, Thermal Lord, if it doesn't make its charge and its shot off. He gets 2 pile and fights, so he can
Does,
pile 3
is
inches.
Death
Pile 3.
Frenzy Death Frenzy pile and fight on death, regardless of it's not melee death, it's just death.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you can, if you get shot and die in the shooting phase, you
Okay.
can actually pile and fight both times. Which is why I
Interesting.
think that's an interesting counter, but
I mean
only
that.
if you can get in there.
Yeah. Then he kills one
You know,
by
honestly,
attacks and
he
gets
may not
free.
even shoot the screen. He might just take that 6-inch charge, kill the Nobbler screen with the Verminlord Deceiver, and then again, if he dies, he piles and fights. But I guess the issue there is Chris can just walk the cannons backwards and just not.
Yeah. Or it's one cannon
And then
there
you've
unless you
traded.
kill it.
How many points are Nobblars?
100 points for.
Yeah, so you've traded a 400-point model for a 100-point model. GG, even. We wish. I don't. There's definitely a way to ping the screen and do some John Madden stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Yeah. Yeah, that would be really nice. I bet there's a way to connect like a tablet
There
and you could
is.
just like
Yeah.
start drawing on the screen. I think that maybe the power would be too much. The temptation is always there. Yeah, we've been trying to describe things like, oh, in the top right corner, this unit or whatever, like by the blue tower. Yeah, I mean it's not great. It would be better for sure. I think it's all growing pains. The things to work on for next time.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why we were trying to use the hand cam, but like it's just too choppy. You know what we might be able to do is raise the dice cam up higher and have a
Mhm.
top-down table shot. Switch in between that. Let me work on that because the dice cam
It's been less than
it's been
successful.
less than successful.
Mainly because no one wants to use it. It's exciting. Gets the people going. Yes, that's exactly it. But it works. We have a Ryan Dean hanging out with us today, this morning. Good morning. Another person named Josh. Always love to see more Joshes in the chat. For coming on. In a shocking turn of events, they're bumping up as close to an Iron Blaster as they possibly can.
We want to improve for the next stream.
Put it on the notes list.
This is a amalgamation of Wicked Dicey property and my laptop and a bunch of stuff that Corey bought for the stream.
The stream deck.
Yeah, that's a stream deck. So the stream deck gives you do things like we can play which players' turns, so change stuff there. We can jump between cameras. You can even put sound effects on it, which for next year we will have sound effects.
Oh, you should have see. You should see the transition. Did you see the transition stinger?
No.
It's great. They paid like $40 for the EverWinter logo to be animated with like snow like falling
Going
off of
across
it.
it.
It's pretty great.
All right. I'm guessing these are gutter runner shots
Yeah.
going into a cannon.
I would assume as well. Let me look.
And Jacob, fortunately for visibility, he loves to use these casino dice. Looks like Chris is marking down, I think, a couple of wounds. Not sure how much. That lower iron
The
blaster.
five rats down in the bottom right corner. Cut off on the screen. It's down below the red tower. It's unfortunately not visible on camera, but that's the objective that he picked to desecrate this turn. And so he
Yep.
dropped a unit of 5 rats back there, 5 gutter runners to just shoot at the iron blaster and score his objective this turn.
There we go.
Hit us with a transition. I would. I would. It was when we went to the hand cam, it
Yeah,
transitions, but
if you go back to the beginning of the stream, we've gone through it a couple of times. It does take about 5 or 6 seconds to
yeah,
run through. So
it probably gets a little annoying after a while. I'm so sad. I want the hand cam to work. It's been good though, like being able to get in there and get some close up shots.
Yep.
Maybe the stream needs a reset or something. In between the next games, I'll try to figure it out again.
Yeah.
Its connection's bad. Yeah.
Hotel Wi-Fi is always questionable,
Yeah.
especially when you have an awful lot of people who devices on it.
Oh, then we're wired in. We're wired into that router right there. But it's still not great. Someday a hotel might figure it out. It was comical yesterday when we got a few back-to-back transitions. Yeah, because we're still pretty new to this and like trying to figure it out the best way to like facilitate it. But every time we went back and forth to try to fix the hand cam, it kept transitioning every time.
Right. Some shots.
No, not really. Yeah, yeah. Somebody had a question about there was a rules conflict about Kronspine. So they ran the
Understating.
Kronspine,
Does
and it was
seem-
within 12 inches of an endless spell, and they thought that they could then charge the Kronspine, and it's like, no, unless the Kronspine's wild, it cannot run and charge. It's pretty simple. But that was a bigger one that came up yesterday, apparently. Yeah, unless on the otherwise stated, like I mean, it's the core rules of supersede. The audio on the transition scares my dogs. Yeah, I heard it was a bit loud. It's all things to
Yep.
figure out for next time. It probably doesn't even need audio, to be honest.
Can't. Pretty good play here. Diagnosis will do his scream and shout, do extra mortal wounds to the. So you can look like pinging of his army. Block. Those pop shots. Here we go.
A lot of chip damage happening. Giselles and
Yeah.
uh,
I like what Jacob's doing. I think what he's taking is he's trying to plunk enough off of enough things that it's not going to matter now. And I'm not sure where the mop pot because there's the ability for her.
the Maw Pot's off the screen.
It's,
Yeah, you see basically where that Iron Blaster is on the left middle of the screen.
if
It's
he does,
basically right next to
if he
that.
doesn't lift the iron blasters and he plinks them the way that he's kind of going, see how the charge goes when he ultimately gets there. But like just a lot of them, and then Chris subsequently just activating the mop pot, so everyone heals a D3. So
I,
Kragnos and heroically heal, and then go back in and get back to full strength fight. If you blaster in this, it's really good.
I don't see that happening. It's just so hard. I mean, it's just the annoying 20-man Nobbler screen. It's that's
Which
the
Jake,
main thing.
it looks like Jacob's shooting at the Noblars, I think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, with that 15-man gutter runners presumably. So I mean, he could be going for this. He might just have to. I mean, at a certain point, you can tie up both of those on the left. They have the Vermin Lord or back
Oh,
out,
and
which
here we
they,
go with the yell. Apparently, he's taking another plus because it starts at a 5 for Kragnos and then goes down depending on how many wounds he's taking.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. And he's gonna start doing damage to his own
Yep.
army, right? It's like
That's-
8
yeah.
inches or something.
6.
6 inches.
And it's per phase, so I mean, it's one of those things. Well, cast at Kragnos still deny 86.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, and it's
Yeah.
off the casting value, not the what you rolled to cast.
Yeah. Wow.
So
it's even worse.
it's really
It's
good.
been affecting him though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can get multiple phases,
Oh yeah, you could just get it to start popping off
Yep.
all the time.
if you can do impacts against Kragnos, that's great because then you hit them.
Yeah.
Pop-
And the other thing about charging Noblars is so annoying. They think they do D3 damage mortal when you charge them or end
If
your
you
movement.
move within 6 inches of a unit of knowledge, if you end a move, so
Yeah.
that's a charge
Pile
move, a
in.
pile in,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Redeploy, anything that counts as a moving.
It's just quick green. Like you
100
couldn't
points for
ask for
20
something better.
I mean, like 5 instead of a 6 up. But
Oh, I mean they could be a 1-up if you know like. They also have
They're-
nets, right? Don't
they're
they?
cheap. No,
No,
that's
they're
your
trap.
goblins. Goblins
Nets
are
or
net.
goblins. That would be absurd. Minus 1 hit and the D3
Being
mortals
green,
and stuff.
you're being.
Yeah. Jacob's doing some. Jacob's doing some pre-measuring. He's marked his base and he's gonna check. He's looking to see if he can maybe fit, like I guess like squeeze through the Nobblar
Mhm.
hole. Oop. Let me go look. So he's trying to tag that topmost cannon in
Mhm.
combat. It looks like he's gonna end his charge in the Nobblars, take the D3, and then, I mean, he's opened himself up to Overwatch, which I would be shocked if he didn't take the Overwatch on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unleash Alec.
Well, especially because the trophy rack is going to counter. Trophy rack's going to counter the 3-up. He can then do the barrage shot, the 10 shots.
Yeah.
And
That's the other problem is like,
on Overwatch, they're going to be 3s and 3s.
yeah, it's just hard to deal with these things. Like, how do you?
Or the Nobblars could throw sharp stuff at him.
They could.
5s and 5s, I believe. 1 damage each.
Yeah, I think
Less
that's
effective than
I
3s and 3s,
I
Ren
think-
2, D3.
yeah, it's
2
definitely a
damage
tough
each, but-
decision. We'll see what he picks. Yeah, it's hard to play around the cannons. I don't know. Needs something. Needs something needs tweaking.
So I think the Vermin Lord just took 5 on the charge.
Yeah, doesn't need much. He doesn't really
He
care.
brackets a bit, doesn't he?
Vermin Lord? Probably. He's a monster. But it's a new book though, so like probably not that bad.
That's true.
Let me just check. That's the Deceiver or the Warbringer, do we think?
I am not sure.
That's the Warbringer. And yeah, he brackets after 6 wounds, so it's definitely different than like a City's a Sigmar monster, which
Right, which
brackets
is
after 3.
yeah, but 6 wounds is half because I think he only has 12. Right, so typically that's the way a lot of them have gone is
13
half.
wounds.
13.
Yeah, it's the Skaven number.
13, of course.
Ended up charging that 15-man gutter runner unit into Kragnos.
Interesting.
I mean, they're all gonna be gone.
They do have a fair amount of mortal wound output possibly on their
Yeah,
on their
so they
attacks.
do mortals
so,
on 6s.
yeah, so,
So,
that's
like, if
I mean
he-
that, and that's where you take down Kragnos, and he's already
Yeah.
taken a handful of wounds, so he could take him down.
Yeah, I think
If he
just,
doesn't, then they're just scooped.
Yeah, and I mean, like the Vermin Lord's not gonna take any damage to the Noblars. I guess the issue is that he wanted to tag that cannon in the top left corner, or sorry, the middle
Yep.
left. If he doesn't activate him first, he's just gonna pile his Noblars, so he can't
You
tag
can't
it.
pile in. Yeah,
So
it's gonna be tough.
he has yeah,
Yep.
he's given himself a bad decision potentially.
He does have Death Frenzy. I forgot. I didn't see exactly which units it's on. I know he got it off on some,
Yep.
but
So he
that,
put
that
one
doesn't
on
really help that because it doesn't give you the ability to fight
twice. Yeah.
Twice. It
It's
just
only if
gives
you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put one on the Vermin Lord Deceiver back there in the top right corner, and then he put 2 activations onto the Warbringer, who's currently
Yep.
with the Noblars. Kragnos is how many wounds?
I think it's 18.
So
That
it
could
looks
be
like
wrong.
he took 4 mortals from the shooting.
Yep.
So he's down to 14 currently.
So Kragnos is scooped. Was that the
It was
gutter
the other.
runners?
He was counting up, so he took 14 out to the
Oh,
15 man.
he took that much in the shooting phase.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I guess they would have thrown and shot at him and then charged.
That's humongous.
That is really big.
That's crazy. How many? All right, I need to go look at the. I mean, it's 15 of them, right? So how many shots they get? Gutter runners.
I think they're 2 apiece.
2 apiece. Are you sure? Eshin throwing stars 3 apiece? Or are you're saying for the melee? So for
Yeah.
shooting they have 3 shots apiece. That's
That would have been
45
shots hitting, and 6s do more.
so you're in theory doing.
Is it 6s do 1 mortal? 6s do like 2 mortals? There was some. I forget how the mechanic works for them.
I'm seeing Eshin toxins that they do 1 mortal, but
Okay.
I think I seem to remember it was being D3, so maybe one of maybe one of the like the rat thing. Oh, the bombardier maybe like buffs it or something. No, that's for the Jazales. We need a Skaven expert. Oh, maybe I'll go ask Jacob. What else did we? What were the other buffing characters in this list? The Plague Priest. Can he? Can he buff their? I feel like it's something to do with them being battle line, or like
I don't.
they unlock
Yeah.
something.
I don't know much at
Because
all.
like 14
Unfortunately,
mortal wounds is a lot
that is a lot.
to
Well, it
get
could
out
be
unless he's
it could be
spiked.
wounds. He has to roll through it all,
He
right?
could.
There's only so many all-out defenses he can do, even on a 2+. The Jazales are pretty
Oh,
good at
that's
that
true.
because they're 2
Yeah,
damage each. I don't know what he shot at them, but
that's
he probably
true.
did.
Actually, I didn't even think about that. I'm just gonna go find from the source. We're able to pick up Kragnos. He even threw his 5-up ward. Oh, sorry, 6-up ward.
Yep.
Um,
Gutter runners and Jazales scooped him. All right. Well,
I
I mean,
mean that's
well, Kragnos' big downside is it's always any mortal wounds to hit or would kill him, right? He's good against spells. He's good against
flat rend.
flat rend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the rend is almost irrelevant because he's got a 2-up save.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. That's a huge pickup.
Yeah. Well, it's 750 points, and it's all the threat that Kragnos has.
And now there's no screen.
But the question is more what happens on Chris's turn.
I mean, he's gonna kill the deceiver. We'll see how many cannons it takes, right? And then he's gonna kill hopefully that 15-man gutter runner unit that's kind
Yep.
of hanging out in that terrain piece. Those gutter runners directly in the center of the screen are effectively inside that terrain.
Oh, okay, so they're gonna.
They're just
But they only have a
counting.
6. I think they have a 6-up save, so that'll give them a 5-up.
Yeah, and maybe if they're counting him as wildwoods, it'd be -1 to hit, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what they declared it as.
Not sure. So yeah, I mean, I would. I'm probably not feeling great about losing Kragnos turn 1, but I mean, you still have 4 Iron Blasters. But that's kind of it. I mean, that's it. That's the list. It's 4 Iron Blasters and Kragnos. Gotta kill. You gotta kill one of those deceivers. The Warbringer, I should say, on the left side of the screen. Oh, I should go collect score. I would assume it's 5. I'll double check. And it is Chris's turn.
Hmm?
So Chris is gonna do barge. He's
Okay.
just gonna chuck some frost sabers back
Yeah.
there and
Well, he can. Yeah, he can teleport and pop them up and get his
and
three
since they're
points on the battle
galley
attack.
vets, right?
Yep.
Because they're under.
They're
5
under
limits.
5 and they're not
Yeah,
mounted.
get
Yep.
the +1 point for the turn. He just wants to cover save. Yeah, yeah. The piece of terrain. Oh, so the runners are on 5-up space. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's 3 out if all defense. Yep, and it's 15 of them. It's a lot. Yeah, they were having a conversation about that terrain piece. Because all those gutter runners are technically in there, but the terrain's kind of weird in terms of playability. Like it's got like wooden boat parts and stuff sticking up everywhere. So Jacob's like, can we just say that they're in there? They just put one model as a representation of the edge of the unit. Yeah, so easy 6 points here in theory for Chris. I guess he does have to take another objective. So maybe it won't be because like which objective is he gonna now stand on? He's on one objective right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's. I mean, that's got to be Jacob's plan, right? Is pick up, pick up what he can, and be so many places that you can only shoot it so much.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess the weakness of the list is that like
Yep.
the board presence is hard. I mean, ideally it would have been Chuck Kragnus into that top objective, and then try to charge or shoot off another objective. The Verminlord Deceiver in the top right objective is completely. You see the 9-inch markers?
Yep.
Like he's completely screening. Like you can't get on that objective. He can't summon his uh, Frost Sabers just like and toe in on the objective
Right.
up here. Now, can all 4 Iron Blasters kill 2K Skaven? I think we were. Yeah, I mean, we were kind of saying this. This like,
Yeah. I don't. I mean, it's going to be really hard because there's just
yeah,
because of Death Frenzy. Death Frenzy is actually the big thing here.
Yep.
Is having that up means that Vermin Lord that's hanging out right on the other side of those Iron Blasters, even if he kills it, it can still do some damage.
yeah. Well, he's gonna have to drag those. He's gonna have to move those Iron Blasters away. I mean, that was a lot of damage he just dumped, and like I think apparently they were both saying that it was a bit spiked in terms of mortal wounds from the gutter runners.
Yep.
Um, even still, take out let's say 4, you leave Kragnus on 4 wounds. He's pretty degraded. He probably goes and stands on objective for 1 turn and dies. So like he
Yeah.
just
It was, yeah, basically delayed everything for a turn, but even just having Kragnus as a threat, also he just counts. I think at that point he was still counted for 15 models.
Yeah.
And with his attack profile and the limited amount that it actually degrades, you end up having. I mean, he could hit any objective and scoop, but all it would take would be the gutter runner standing and shooting. When
It's
he
a cool
charges.
list. I like
Yeah.
the Jazales. They're interesting. I bet they're there to also like pick off like little foot heroes every once in a while.
I mean, they've been one of those that have always been pretty cool. The models, they're the old metal
Yeah,
models.
They look great though. Those are some that I think have held up.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not seeing Thankwall and 9 Stormfiends
Yes. Again.
again.
No, Jacob's list is interesting because it's very different than what we see for a lot of Skaven lists, which is always fun.
Okay, so I think he's getting clarification on like where that unit actually is.
Yeah, exactly, Dayton. They're very good, and especially again, like it's exactly what you need as a Kragnos counter is something that does mortals on either to hits or to wounds, shooting in melee. It doesn't matter what, just as long as he doesn't get to dressage you down.
I mean, they
before-
had to make a 9-inch charge though,
Yeah, but with the shooting and everything else, I mean,
or did he move? I didn't. I actually kind of missed it, but I
I
don't know
think
if
they were off the table and he
Yeah, so
popped
they
them on.
dropped him in.
Yep.
So they did make a 9-inch charge. I mean,
Yep.
that's significant.
Yeah, it is. But they still have the shooting attacks, and
Oh yeah. No, I mean just like weight of dice plus 6s to mortal
Yep.
is just so. That's why I like flares. Crypt flares from Flesh Eater courses. You can end up chucking 110 dice at people, and then it's very consistent in theory how many mortals you're outputting, as opposed to like a big swingy shot, like I don't know, like a warp cannon,
Yep.
warp lightning cannon or something.
This will be interesting to see where he was plopping the hunter and the dogs. So the hunter all obviously follow the standard rules of need to be outside of 9 of an enemy, and But I believe the dogs need to be wholly within 12 of
Of
Victor,
him?
so you get kind of there's a little more variety where you drop them than just as a pack.
Yeah. And he really wants that barge bonus because, again, how is he, like, the question is, how does he hold objectives at this point? I feel like you're going to go right with those 2 cannons on the bottom.
Well,
Charlie,
remember it's also turn 1, right? So if he thinks, which is the kind of
the
current
double.
ogre mentality, if he thinks he can just wipe out everything Jacob has in the next 2 turns,
If he
he
gets
doesn't
a
need
double.
even a single point right now.
Yeah, if he gets a,
If he
if
could
he
wipe
gets a
out
double.
everything in 2 turns,
Yep.
then it doesn't matter if he scores on turn 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to get his battle tactic +1, so that's going to be 3
Yep.
points.
Yep.
He's going to hold 1 for 4 points.
Yep.
So I bet you that's where we end up at the end of this turn.
Yep. Yeah, that's very likely. There is not a good way for him to get on the top or the bottom objective. I'm just thinking through it from an ogre shenanigan perspective. He could. I don't know how many models that Jacob has there. It looks like just a couple.
Where on this top one?
Yeah, all those Nobblers are gone too. aren't
Nobblers
they?
are gone.
So what he could do is if he, I don't know if they've gone past casting, but if he casts the blubber guts,
He
thing,
did cast it.
he
yes.
did. Did he get it off?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, let's say he did. Then all of those now count as monsters.
Oh right.
And
they're 5 models
for
on the objective.
ogres, it's I forget. Is it 10? They count as 10 models if they're a monster.
Oh, that's
5
right.
for
They
a
do.
hero.
Yeah.
And the heroes count as
Yeah.
5.
Yep.
So there's actually legit ways to just sneak a toe on with an iron blaster.
I'm seeing a toe from the frost saber in the top corner on the objective.
Which I'm surprised if that can happen. Because I guess he's on the other
There
side.
was, I
Yep,
remember seeing the
yep.
ruler. There was like a fraction. I mean, it doesn't matter because the Vermin Lord's on it, and so he's 5. I don't think the Frost Lord or Frost Saber. They should count for
How
like
many
2.
drops were he? Was he?
He was 4.
He was 4.
Yeah.
Does he have expert conquerors on them?
I don't believe so. No, it was just 4. It was 3 Iron Blasters and a Battle Regiment.
Yep.
So, I think they count for 2. Right?
Okay. Yep. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're 2. But the hero would count as 5.
Yeah. So next turn he's set up to take it
Yep.
because he's
Well,
got.
and he could. It's sort of sacrificing the hunter to some degree, but he could have dropped the hunter toe on instead of the dog's toe on, and that would have given him 5, and then another dog. If he could squeeze one dog toe on there, he would beat the vermin lord. Just the vermin lord who's there.
Yeah.
But that's gonna just get you.
But you
1,
said he
2.
has like that interesting shooting attack, right?
Sorry.
He has like an okay shooting attack.
He's got I mean it's no iron blaster.
No, it's not. No. I mean, those 2 Iron Blasters could potentially shoot the Deceiver on the right side of the screen, and the other 2 closer ones could shoot the Warbringer on the left,
Yep.
in conjunction with the whatever that D3. It's probably like a D3 shooting attack or whatever.
Might be. I don't know. For the wait, which one are you talking about?
The guy in the corner,
The hunter.
the hunter. Yeah.
The hunter has like I think he's got a 12-inch and 18-inch shot. It's like 2 shots and they do 2 damage or something like that. It's very very minimal.
Okay. Yeah, and then if he gets a double, then that could be it.
Could be. Yeah, his priority is going to be big. If Jacob can get priority on turn 2, then I think he can wipe out
So
a
that's
lot of those
technically
iron
the
blasters.
Icebrow Hunter in the back.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so we're not. It's this is an old model, so
Yes.
Chris is using. I'm not sure what
That is a Frost Lord that normally comes on a Stonehorn.
Yeah.
But he's got it on a. It's very similar. It looks. I'm pretty sure it is a Mournfang model.
Yep. Okay, so his Hunter crossbow is 1 shot, 4s and 3s, no rend, D3 damage.
Yep.
And he's got a spear, 4s, 3s, rend 1, D3 damage.
I think if it's against a monster, it's like just does max flat damage.
In your shooting phase, he can also use his icy breath instead of
It's
attacking with
irrelevant.
missile
Don't even
weapons.
read it. Don't waste your breath.
Oh, is that bad? Yeah, it's just a 2-up for D3s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
then you can use this command ability to Frost Sabers. When you attempt to charge, you can change one of the dice to a 4. Meh.
yeah.
It's really I guarantee you that's just for barge and auto barging and desecrating. I'm kind of with you, Dayton. Actually, I'm 100% with you. Oh yeah, no, we the proxies are fine. I mean, it was just I was just trying to figure out what it was. And it's not confusing at all because there's nothing that could be confused with. I don't know about Josh, but I'm just tired today.
A little tired.
I'm tired. My
It's been a
coffee
thing.
hasn't kicked in.
It's been a thing this weekend.
I'm like not that hungover. I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm. My voice is getting gravelly,
Yeah.
but it was super fun.
Yeah.
Oh, how hungover am I? I'm fine. From like it's just my voice because we're out chatting and having a good time until
Like
now.
2 a.m.,
All
yeah.
hours for 3 nights in a row.
Oh yeah.
But it was fun. It's a lot of fun. Got to spend some good time with a bunch of the tough crowd last night.
Tough crowd.
Trent and Elodie brothers, marvelous human beings.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Wicked nicey. So they're going over the death frenzy on the Warbringer right now. Yeah, death frenzy's crazy too, because like you could fight in the fight phase, and like just like let's say you die in
Yep.
like the battle shock phase, you could then fight twice more. Because it's you can't activate more than twice per phase.
Right. But different phases.
But different phases.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like if he died to disease from Nurgle, I believe he's eligible to then fight twice. Or maybe I'd have to go back and look at the core rules. Maybe it's you can't fight more than twice per turn, but I think it's per phase.
I have no idea.
I think it's per phase.
Yeah, Dayton, you'll have to plan on coming next year.
Oh, it's been a great event.
This
It's
is
super
huge.
fun.
This has been absolutely fantastic. Everyone's having a blast.
They will continue to spurn our dice cam.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to change the way that that's set up next year.
Either we need to make it more accessible to them, or just completely do away with it and just have that camera there, the dice cam, just be reappropriated into like a angled top down. Ridge's voice carries over the crowd.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's per phase. Okay. Yeah, because that's what's like um dictating like flesh eater courts fighting twice is
Yeah.
that they can only fight twice per phase.
Right.
And I think there is a flesh eater court like fight on death thing you can give to one of the heroes or monsters or whatever. And so like if you had already fought twice and it dies, you wouldn't have
Yep.
you can't activate a third time in that phase. But out of sequence fighting, I had this same exact question against Skaven when I played last time, which was like I shot something.
Yeah. So 2 iron blasters are already off the table.
Yeah, because he killed him with the fight on death.
Yep. So right now Chris is down
I'm surprised.
Almost 1,200 points.
I thought he was gonna back him up and shoot it and not charge.
Yeah.
I think there might have been a
Yeah.
miscalculation there.
Yeah. The impact hits can be distracting for ogres, right? Because you're like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna charge this guy in, and I have
Yeah.
blubber guts, so now they're gonna count as monsters, and I'm gonna do 4 ups.
I
and
would
you're
have
like,
stayed
that's
way
cool.
the hell away
However
from that
you want to
thing.
kill me, I'm still going to murder you back.
Yes. Yeah. I would have
So
stayed.
the only way
very
to
far away.
successfully do it is to back up far enough, shoot him, run out of combat.
Yeah, I mean it's looking that way.
Yeah, that's pretty much game because the other Vermin Lord, I don't even know what type it is, but he will
Deceiver.
He'll go and kill the hunter. The hunter falls
Yeah.
over to a stiff breeze.
I mean it's not the Warbringer, but it's certainly a scary melee threat. Death Frenzy's yeah. And I think he also had flaming weapon on him as well.
Yes.
So it's just like
He had all the stuff up.
definitely not ideal. I don't believe they've rolled Prio for turn 2. Let me go check. Are you asking, Dayton, are you asking about from like the beginning of the game? Because Chris outdropped Jacob and gave him top. Okay, so actually Chris Scott, 5 points. No, they're actually Skaven on the bottom. They're clan rats, Dayton. There was only one. It was only one pack of 20 Noblars, and they died to the Vermin Lord. So how we got to 5 here is that top right objective was proving grounded, which I didn't realize. So the Frost Sabers touching in on the top right corner allowed him to get that. So he got 1-2, battle tactic +1.
Okay.
No, Chris had 2 objectives. He had the bottom left corner and the top right corner. He had proven grounded the top right corner. And and you can see where the tape measure is. The Frost Sabers were able to tow and capture it like from underneath the Deceiver.
Yep. So turn 2, it sounds like Chris. They rolled Chris 1 priority and Chris 1 priority,
Yep,
and
he's taking it.
taking it.
And he's doing eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. Okay. So not shocking that he took it. He can scrape a few more points back, but I don't know. Maximum amount of damage he can put out of those Iron Blasters is 20 a turn.
Yeah, well, he's lost 2.
Plus they charge, right? So depending on where Death Frenzy is, that like charging the small unit of rats, the gutter runners, charging even the medium-sized unit. I guess those are clan rats on the objective on the lower right-hand corner. An Iron Blaster could charge in and kill that stuff. However, there's only 2 Iron Blasters left, and those Jezzails are going to plunk them. I think they have a couple of wounds floating on each one.
Yeah. Oh, on the Jezzails?
The Iron Blasters.
Oh. I think those are. Oh, the one in the bottom that's currently on the red tower has a couple because there's that 5-man gutter runner unit basically like 3 inches away from it now,
Right.
just off screen. Yeah, I think what's left for both teams or sides, right? It's like you've got a Deceiver and some Jezzails and a
Clan rats.
shitload of clan rats.
Yep.
And that's it, right?
Well, there's the gutter runners that are there as well,
The 5-man gutter runner. The
yeah.
15 are dead.
Yep.
And then so he's got 2 iron blasters versus the deceiver on top right corner.
I don't know if his butcher is dead. I don't see the butcher on the table anymore either.
The butcher is right there. Is it off screen?
Oh, okay. Yep. So there is still a butcher alive.
Was that off screen? It looks like it is. Oh no, I see, oh, I see him. I see him.
Yep.
Noah's wandering around the halls.
Yep.
He's probably
His
done with
name's
his
gone.
game.
Yeah, it's early.
Yeah.
Surprised we haven't been bothered by Tom Wan yet.
Oh, I want to see what he's paired into right now.
He was playing Ridge.
That could take a while.
Yep.
If anyone can beat Tom Guan, it's Ridge. Well, I feel
Yeah,
like
nothing
that
against
list.
nothing against this game because this is very interesting and there's different lists you don't see all the time. But I did want to get those two on stream.
Come on, Ridge, channel that maple power. Yeah, I would like to see that on. I want to see slaves on stream. That'd be fun. Hey, Feck one, my boy.
Yeah, Frederick was walking around. I just saw him a few minutes ago.
I'm excited.
It
yeah.
looks like that small gutter runner unit just got scooped. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and guess that it was an iron blaster shooting.
I would. Actually, I'm little surprised that maybe like they're still dangerous enough that you need to get rid of them. But I was thinking he was gonna try to deal with that the deceiver back there. I mean, the other one looks like it's going to. Oh no, he's gonna shoot Carl one. No one, Carl one. Unsubmitted. Gavin's game is unsubmitted.
See, luckily Dayton's sitting there watching the stream, checking everything on.
I know.
On BCP.
He's our man in the chair.
Let's go to the home.
Anthony Lawrence Sean is still going. Fred 127 and 21. Yep, Carl won. Sam Gould is still playing. A lot of good games. Chris Wildman's playing Mike Vaginos. That's going to be an interesting. I want to hear about that. And I'm nude. Who says we aren't? You can't see it.
Yeah, no tough crowd belt match.
No.
I guess you guys came to visit and decided to not bring the full party.
They left Dayton behind.
That's true. I don't even know who the current belt holder is. Isn't it? It's Nate, isn't it?
Trentinelli?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I
From
at least,
what?
I at least know that.
Summer Slaughter?
Well, Castle Nate
Oh, from
beat
Castle.
Dayton. No offense, but you said you're new, and that's what it reminded me of.
Only using the mirror match, yeah. They also grudge matched that mirror match. Like they were like, we should play each other. Because
Yep.
I think it's his last. He said it's his last time playing Fire Slayers.
Yes. Oh, they grudge match round one.
He's
That's
like
right. yeah.
sunsetting
Yep.
his Fire Slayers.
Well, he sold them to Jordan.
Oh, okay. So we'll see them
He's
around.
been cut, yeah, he's been cutting down the amount of plastic
Armies.
he has in his house. So
Oh,
I think
okay.
he's keeping Urgle and everything else is on the way.
On the wait, so he's adding more.
No, sorry, on the way out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nate,
there they
you
go.
took it from me and defended it versus Rage at Du Bois. Okay, we've got our answer. All right, what's going on? Let's check back into this game.
I still see 2 Iron Blasters.
I do see, yeah. Well, that's to be expected.
If he has enough alive,
All right, so I need to collect the score here.
Jazales are actually incredibly good at just picking up those dogs because unless the dogs can't be seen,
Yeah.
he can just be like, those guys are dead.
So Chris looks like he scored 4 there. Killed the gutter runner unit. Sat on 2 objectives. Collected his 4 points.
Okay.
It's currently Jacob's turn. So it looks like Jacob is also going to be taking eye for an eye,
Okay.
as one
Now,
does,
Jacob does.
leaving the whole world blind. So it looks like a Death Frenzy and Flaming Weapon going down on that Deceiver.
Shocked at you.
Shocked. Never mind. It was a heroic lead. It was a heroic leadership.
Yeah, so he's gonna kill that hunter so fast.
I mean, if he can get there because the dogs are in the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he's fast enough to walk around that screen and or pile in, and if he got Death Frenzy off, he's gonna be able to fight.
So I was wrong. He didn't get Death Frenzy. He has Flaming Weapon, and the other tag is heroic leadership. It's just the CP.
Okay.
You'd think that I mean I would probably maybe it failed.
Oh yeah, Jake also has there's an engineer hiding in the terrain.
Yep. The
Blue
Warp Block
Lighthouse.
Bombardier or
Yep.
whatever. Warp Fire Bombardier. That's a miscast. Who roll casino dice are unstable. Yeah, but they show up well on camera.
They do. It's true. Jacob's not unstable. He's just a degenerate gambler.
They show up well on camera, and they also are very easy and legible for your opponent to read across the table.
Yep. Problem is if you have a huge pile, it takes forever because you can only hold so many in your hands.
Oh yeah. At a certain point, you have to go smaller with the dice.
Was that one of your Secret Santa presents?
Yeah.
So Cam just reached into a bag and pulled out a D6.
Here, we're gonna put it on the dice cam.
Gigantic.
We need something for scale.
Yeah, that's actually just a really tiny dice tray.
It's a tiny dice tray. I have 6 of those.
Someone give
Yeah,
me them.
yeah. That is a solid. Whoops,
Yep.
sorry. It's a solid
It is
wooden
a
dice.
solid hunk of wood.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm come like he can shoot the dogs with the Giselles
Yeah.
and charge. I don't even know that. I keep like missing them because they're
Yeah,
like
the
in the
Giselles are
terrain.
actually incredibly good at just picking. Like the dog units are, they're 2 wounds, 4 wounds per unit,
Yeah,
30-inch range,
they're 2 wounds.
no terrain for
Are
them
they
to really
D3
hide
shots?
in. They have a 6-up save.
Yeah.
Like they're just dead if he starts shooting, and they're immune to psych, immune to leadership if they're within certain range of the Ice Brown Hunter. Like the other ones, you kill one dog, the other one's gonna run away.
Yeah.
Right, so you don't need to. You can divide it up and have,
I mean, the
it's never the
question though
glue.
is like, do you still try to plink that one off in the bottom terrain?
Iron Blasters.
Yeah, like
Yeah, absolutely. If
yeah,
you can, because the output, right? So all it is if Jacob can survive with enough bodies for another turn, he's in great shape. If those Iron Blasters get another turn, they're
yeah,
gonna wipe out something else.
yeah, exactly. Like I think once you start getting onto one Iron Blaster, it's still not great, but like the output is certainly
Yeah,
reduced.
and you just kill everything else
Yep.
because they're also not that tough. Even in the terrain, you're talking about what, a 3-up save, 9 wounds.
Iron Blasters. Yeah.
Yeah, 9 wounds with, I don't know how many it has left on it, but
Yeah, because it took a couple from the last turn's shooting.
yeah. I think most of Jacob's output doesn't care about your armor save.
Looks like it's taken 5 or 6. So it probably only has 3 remaining. I definitely would shoot the Giselles at that one.
I mean, Kragnos did soak up an awful lot of shooting that otherwise might have removed an Iron Blaster, but there's killing 170 point model or killing a 780 and whatever he is, 720
Yeah.
for Kragnos.
Yeah, I mean, picking that up was huge. All right, so the gutter runners are going to shoot the dogs, which I think is on off screen.
Yeah, all the way on the left there. The
Yep.
dog's on the lower left-hand corner. There's 2 that still are on that objective.
Yep. No, I guess dogs are 3 wounds.
Yeah, 1 dog on a wound.
So the Vermlord's going to shoot at the dogs off the screen, right?
Sorry?
There's a dog unit off to the screen on
Yep,
the right.
yeah.
That's the Vermlord's going to shoot at.
And yeah, the Verminlord has 2 different shots, and one is going into the dogs, one is going into the character.
Yeah. I don't know about the Maw Pot.
I don't think he has. Or if he did, it was turn 1, and there's nothing fighting near it, so he can't refill it, fortunately. There's actually 3 Nobblers over there, too. Is that next to...
No, those are gutter runners.
oh, gutter runners, okay.
Noah's floating around.
rockets around the table.
4 damage? Why is it 4 damage?
He got spells off, I think. Get a warp stone token. I don't know. Skaven do a lot of funky things.
Yeah, so that was a 4 damage shot from the Disail, and that just killed that Iron Blaster in the cover. Because they're 2 normally,
Wasn't
right?
I don't think it was the. No, it wasn't the Jazales. It was the the rocket. The warp block engineer rocket.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That hit and wounded and went through save and.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yeah. Well, it's only a 4 up. I mean, threat 1, so it was only a 4 up, and he failed to save, and it's 4 damage. So it's all gating on the front end for damage like that.
Yeah, I feel like I've played against Skaven a lot, and I feel like people have shot that at me, and it's always missed. So maybe
Yeah.
I've never like
Never
I've
seen
never, I've
what
never
actually-
gotten to the
What
damage
happens if they
step.
hit with the rocket? No one knows.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Now we know. And
And,
it looks like the
yeah.
star killed the
Yeah.
hunter
Yep.
down there.
Yep.
Or by
Oh,
down there,
Lawrence
I mean,
won his game.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would love to see him take the event.
That'd be cool.
Not that I'm pulling for anybody, but he's a great guy. He doesn't make it in nearly as much. Recently had a kid. Fantastic player.
Fantastic human being.
Yeah.
We had him on stream yesterday, though.
Yep.
I don't know if we can put him on stream again. If it's the top table, I guess you do.
Maybe.
Yeah. We'd like a
We
little
don't
bit more
get to
variety.
make those decisions.
We don't make any decisions.
Our overlord Corey decides for us.
Yes. Actually, I think it's just BCP decides for us almost at this point, except for game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and Anthony's not one to make really mistakes. He's a very calculated player.
Yep.
Doesn't take high risks unless he really has to, and if he does, he knows the downside's going to be minimal.
Yeah. That game yesterday was
That-
incredible. I mean, it just
Yeah.
it did not look good, and then all of a sudden he's tied up, and
They
then
shook hands.
they shook
I-
hands.
I'm assuming that Jacob conceded, and he is going to.
You mean Chris?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
The single iron blast remaining on the table.
Yeah, I mean, there's 8 Iron Blaster left. I think did they roll Prio, and I bet
I don't know. If
I'm
they
assuming
bothered.
Jacob won
There's
Prio.
literally 2 models on the table for Chris,
Yeah.
and there's still a lot. Jacob called. It was nice of you to concede early. That's good. Yeah, Jacob's funny 'cause he's one of those that I've known since he was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Playing this since the bases were square.
Well, the bases will be square once again shortly. Yeah, it's a
we got
fun
just
list.
figuring-
I'm just happy not to have to say Thanquil's name or Storm Fiends.
Yep.
I think that's
Well-
probably just like our club. It's just like there's 4 people who play it or whatever.
And they all play about the same. Yeah.
It's basically the same list,
Yeah.
and so I just feel like I've seen it so many times. It's nothing against that list in particular. I mean,
Well, Thankful is really good, and I think the
Yeah.
problem is that sometimes people focus on a piece like that where they develop everything around it and just love to keep just that.
Yep.
And you kind of have to, if you're going to play Thankful, then you do this. It's like if you give him us a cookie, you just go down this route of,
yeah,
if you play Thankful, then you want a boat. And if you want a boat, you probably want something to give him plus something to cast.
so they're talking right now that Jacob says I was shocked that you charged into my double death
Yeah,
frenzy,
yeah.
and which was somewhat of like a
Yep.
probably just a miscalculation because
Yeah.
that was definitely just 2 iron blasters gone.
And that's a mechanic that if you're not familiar with Death Frenzy and the like fight on death mechanic for a lot of armies, you don't think about, right? You're like, I'm
Yep.
just gonna charge in, I'll get you with impact hits. This is you're not gonna even if you're always strike first, I'll get my impact hits and kill
Yep.
you. But it's interesting to see
I mean,
how,
it's one of those things I think you might honestly just have to see. Like
Yeah.
I've played Zach from Wicked Dicey, and he was playing actually a fairly similar list. And I decided to like charge him killed him with Phoenix Guard. He proceeded to double activate and kill 20 Phoenix Guard, and then, or sorry, he activated, killed like whatever 15 Phoenix Guard, whatever there were, and then he got pile and fight again. So it's a pile 3-inch six and 3-inch reach, and killed another like 10 or 15 from a different Phoenix Guard unit, like
Yep.
sitting right next to them. And I was just like, wow, that is a lot of output. It's
Yep.
just a ton
Yep.
of damage.
I mean, it's almost doubles the number of models you have, right? So if you have a Vermin Lord who goes in who is buffed up, and they get to fight twice, it's the same as if you had two of them.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
yeah,
think
it's-
about how crazy the mechanic would be if the price point was that low, but
Yeah.
it's not. And yes, it's only one time, but
And there's a lot of stuff that has to go off. You have to get a spell off.
Yep.
You have to get Death Frenzy as a spell off. You have to basically get the Skitter Leap
Yep.
off. Flaming Weapon doesn't have to go off, but it's like definitely helps.
nice if it does.
Dice if it does. Then you have to make your charge,
Yep.
and then you have to your opponent has to play around it at that point. Storm Fiends do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just shoot those Storm Fiends.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
one of the things that can really hard counter it because they have to be way closer.
Yeah. Storm Fiends, for them to be effective, I think it's 18 inches, and the Iron Blasters can sit out of that range and just plunk them and
18. I mean, you had 12 for the Gatlings.
12 for the Gatling. That's right.
Yeah, so it's even closer.
Yep.
But they have, the bridge from Thanquol
Yeah.
or the Gnawholes or whatever. So they have tools to get around it. So
Right, but
yeah.
it's and the big thing with Storm Fiends too is if you take out the engineer who's babysitting them, then all of a sudden they go to
Yeah.
really rough times when
Yeah.
they can't get more and more war power.
Yeah, they are reliant on the buff. Yeah, it was a good game.
All right, well, that's a great one. We got one more in the queue for streaming. We'll see who ends up on the table.
Yeah, we're
Still-
probably starting that one up at 1.
Yeah, probably 1 o'clock. We might start a little early. I don't know if we're going to be streaming the award ceremony. Well, I guess we'll find out. See what
I
Corey
don't know
wants to
how
do.
we would do that.
It's called a camera.
Mm.
We point it at Corey while he
Mm.
talks.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can figure it out.
We might be able to figure it out.
But we'll see. We'll see. All right, folks. I think
We'll-
for us that'll
yeah.
do it for now, and we will see everybody in just about 2 hours.
2 hours. All right.